Ever wanted to participate in the greatest food fight in the world? Ever wondered what it would feel like to be covered head to toe in something saucy? Then you might want to head down to Tomatina. Every year, around 20 to 50,000 tourists flock to Brunol in the Valencia region of Spain to fight in a saucy battle where almost 140 metric tons of overripe tomatoes are thrown in the streets. So, if you like to get dirty, then buy some protective goggles and head down to Valencia on the last Wednesday of August. And if you're thinking of going, check out the official Tomatina website for some useful tips before you go.
Hola amigos, today I'm cooking paella, one of those wonderful Spanish dishes which originally was made with rabbit as the main meat for this rice dish. Why? Because it was a peasant dish in which some of the ingredients that were used were actually quite cheap. But over the years, as we all know, paella has evolved into this amazing dish cooked in many restaurants, especially here in Melbourne. And today I'm going to show you how to do it at home. Okay, so we're going to use some fresh seafood, chicken breast, chicken wings, lovely garlic, a bit of mix of spices including saffron, pepper, salt, some arborio rice. Normally you would use calasparo in Spain, but it's got the same qualities. We're going to use 3 different colors of capsicum just for color and nice brightness, Spanish chorizo sausages, some onions, peas, chicken stock, extra virgin olive oil, and a little bit of lemon for garnish. And of course, I got my paellera, which is a Spanish paella pan. So what I'm going to do is going to cut this capsicum into halves, and then I'm going to dice half of it, and the other one I'm going to julienne it into little strips. I'm going to add capsicum. I'm going to dice some onions, and that's starting to heat up nicely. Just going to add some olive oil. Don't be shy with the olive oil. Now we're going to chuck in the garlic. I'm going to chop it finely, and we're going to cook that on a high heat until the onion becomes translucent and all the aromas, the garlic and the capsicum start coming out. So while that's frying away, I'm going to slice the chorizo sausage. I'm only going to use 1.5. I think that'll be enough because we've still got lots of ingredients to go. We've got chicken. I'm going to add the chicken wings. We've got 2 chicken wings cut into 4 different pieces. I'm going to season it with about 2 tablespoons of salt, some pepper. Now, if you find that some of these onions and capsicums are sticking together, don't worry too much about it, because one of the beautiful things about paella is, especially when you put the rice in, is when the rice creates a crust down the bottom of the pan, and it's just beautiful. You pick into this crunchy rice and it just tastes delicious. Alright, so I'm going to use 2 cups of rice to 4 cups of water, or stock, as we're using chicken stock. But before I pour all the stock in there, I'm gonna sprinkle some of this saffron seasoning. 1 full tablespoon I'll go for this. Just a little bit to the stock. Beautiful. Put that in. Then we're gonna add the peas. About 2 handfuls and a half. Last, we're going to add the seafood. We'll start with some bits of marinara mix that I purchased. We have some mussels, some little prawns. So I'm just scattering them around, sit them on top of the paella, nicely arranged. Some bits of capsicum, just sprinkled around. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover it up, let it sit for approximately 20 minutes, and then check it and maybe add a little bit more stock. And also, I'm going to reduce the heat to a medium heat. 25 minutes later, we'll come and check it out. Okay, I think our paella is ready. The rice looks pretty well cooked. Our paella, it's ready. So let's give it a try. Smells delicious. The prawn. That is very, very nice. Beautiful. I hope it tastes just as good when you try it at home. We'll see you next week as I'm going to a Spanish tapas bar called Lulo, and we'll be talking to the owner, Matt. See you next time.
The descendants of the Mayan world are noted artisans in the creation of unique traditional handcrafts. Belinda Recinella, owner of Mundo Maya, joins us. The items you sell and distribute, they really do represent the colours of the indigenous people in Guatemala. What is it that's so stunning about their culture?
The colour is definitely a trademark of being Guatemalan. So traditionally, when the Spaniards came in, these traditional mines were already the most colourful lot you can imagine. I mean, the temples of Tikal, although they're now stone, they used to be brilliant colours. So it's something about the way they've organically grown as a culture, I suppose, that's made them so colourful. We don't really know why, but the fact is that they stand out. They stand out in every way you can imagine, and with not just a variation of colours, but hot pinks, hot blues, the most striking colours you can imagine. And this is what they wear on the street. This is what they weave. This is what they put on their beds. It's amazing.
Are these all handmade? How do you go about selecting who makes them, where they make them, etc.?
Different towns have different weaves and different styles as well. So it's actually a little bit of a sad history because it comes from the Spanish invasion, where the Spaniards decided to make the Guatemalans wear certain types of weave and colour to represent their town, so they knew who was from where, and that sort of kept them in check. But it's actually grown to be part of their culture and tradition now. So it's lovely to see. So you know that if you're seeing a particular type of Mayan top on a woman of a particular colour and style, that she's from a particular town. So there's geometric ones and there are floral ones. Some are tapestried by hand, which is a lot more lengthy work, all on hand-loomed cloth, and then others are adorned with an applique. So they use like this little applique machine, but it's still done very individually.
You've spoken about weaving. Can you
Yes.
tell us how these items are made?
A lot of the cloths are hand-loomed, so either they'll wear a backstrap and loom them on the street, or they'll use a wooden looming contraption. So there's certain ones that actually turn and you're putting the threads on, and they know how to catch the threads and actually put them in order so that it turns out a certain colour. And there are other ones where they're actually drawing it through. So they're drawing the cotton through another set of cotton, they're sort of crisscrossing it through. And then on top of that is the actual embroidery. So they'll embroider or they'll applique.
There's some amazing detail, and it's, at first it seems sort of simple, but it's actually quite fascinating. So running Mundo Maya, what does it involve for you, and what does it do for you as well?
The day-to-day stuff is I get out there and I go and set up stalls at festivals and markets, and that's how it all started. Tagging things well so that people appreciate. I really want people to know what they're buying, not just a nice thing, an actual handcraft. And then the rest of the time, I suppose I'm also doing the other side of the business, which is wholesaling, and that's starting to grow a little bit more. And purely because people with shops come to my stall and say, hey, I've got a shop, I'd like to buy some things. It's all very simple. But also I have an online site just to direct people as to where I'll be at festivals or how to buy in person or however they like to buy. I have catalogue and all that sort of stuff. And for me, I really love just playing with my things and looking at them and writing a little tag about that particular weave and just keeping that culture going here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Now, I have to tell you, I'm from El Salvador, so we have a similar culture back home.
Yep.
I want to show you and get your impression of whether you think that traditional dress suits me, whether I should bring it back.
I think you should. I think you should make it in adult size because it's hot. It's
All right,
beautiful.
What initially drew you to Central America?
I've been an avid traveller for years. I've travelled through Europe and Asia and so many more places in the world, and I've always heard about this amazing continent called Latin America, so I just thought it was time to go. So I packed up for a year and left and backpacked around there, and after the brilliance of South America and the jaw-dropping scenery everywhere, I sort of wanted to check out Central America just because I'd heard that it was a little bit more laid back, a little bit more indigenous. The indigenous culture just blew me away. Like I said, the people were just so lovely, and I'm seeing people dressed in a way I've never seen them dressed on the street, weaving on the street, and the whole experience was just mind-blowing.
What's been a highlight for you during your travels?
One time I was in Chile. I was in the Atacama Desert, which is the driest place on earth, they say, and there's a little town there called Atacama. And so I walked into a pharmacy to buy something. And you know, you expect a pharmacist to come and meet you, or a lady or somebody. And so there was a little corner, and I looked around the corner and came face to face with a llama who just came out from the back of their house. And it was just, I just thought, I love traveling. I love this experience that is just being away, particularly Latin America.
All the best, Belinda, and thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you so much.
After the break, join me as I visit the National Gallery of Victoria.